Okay, how's everybody doing?
Good.
You guys having fun?
Yeah.
Okay, today we're going to learn a little bit about the Native Americans that were here in North America. And we're going to go way, way back. We're going to start like 15,000 years ago, a pretty long time ago. And we're going to talk about how they made it back in the days without TVs and cell phones and all that kind of stuff. This was way back when all they had to defend themselves was with a big stick, okay? A little bit about that. If you have any questions, raise your hand. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Well, we're not going to do it just yet, but we're going to get into it, okay? But don't be afraid to raise your hand, and if I have questions, and I'm going to kind of help let you guys be a part of this, okay? Because we're here to learn. I want to help you out with that today, okay? What was the Ice Age like?
Everything was frozen, the streams were, like everything, water was frozen.
Right, most everything, okay? The Ice Age, a lot of people think just because of the Ice Age, the whole Earth was frozen. And it really wasn't, okay? Only the top and only the bottom, but almost halfway down. The only part that wasn't frozen was the equator, the middle of the Earth, all the way around years, okay? So what could start an Ice Age just like that? Let's just say tomorrow, what could start an Ice Age? Okay.
A super volcano?
Super volcano. About Yellowstone National Park.
Very good.
Yellowstone National Park is a caldera, which is on top its land. It's got geysers and hot springs and stuff, but underneath it's a giant bubble of magma, lava underneath. Okay. Now, in Ice Age, these were our three main characters. Okay. Manny was woolly mammoth, really, really big. And then you had Diego, which was a big, giant saber-toothed cat. His shoulders would stand about this high if I had one standing next to me right now. Now you saw Sid. Sid was a sloth, and Sid was real little. It almost looked like a squirrel, right? Who was, out of all three of those, the tallest of all three of those animals? What? It would be the sloth, Sid. See, in Ice Age, they made Sid look like he was a little squirrel-looking guy, like a weasel. He was actually, anybody know how big he really was back then? How big was he?
Really tall.
Really tall. How many feet tall, though? He was actually 12 feet tall, because the sloth had to, because they like to eat leaves. They were vegetarians and they ate leaves, so they had to climb up and pull leaves out of the trees. To kill a woolly mammoth with a big stick like this was not easy. They had to stab him and kind of let him bleed to death, okay? It took a long time, 3 or 4 days for him to die, because they just couldn't stick it far enough into the woolly mammoth. He had really thick skin and fat about this thick, and you had to get it way in there. What happens if you run up and stab a woolly mammoth with a stick like this? What's he going to do?
Probably come charging right back at you.
That's right. All you're going to do is make them mad. And when the hunting parties went out, not everybody came back, okay? Not everybody was lucky enough to come back, because the woolly mammoth usually got somebody and stomped on them, okay? And you can actually chip it off. If you hit it, pieces fall off of it, and you can start shaping it. See how that's starting to get round already? As I'm knocking pieces off, you just find a spot and hit it, and it gets really sharp as you do that. Now look, already it's starting to form like an arrowhead. I'm looking at it, and I can start chipping it down and try to make a complete arrowhead out of this one piece. Cut your legs, but what you do is kind of look at it, and you see how it's starting to look like an arrowhead, because I work on this one a lot. But if you just grab the edge and push down, you'll hear it popping. See the little pieces popping off? And you keep that up, and just keep pressing, and now already, look how round it is already. And I'm going to keep that up and keep working on this, and sooner or later, I will have a new arrowhead that I've made myself. The next actual weapon that came up was this thing, okay? It's called an atlatl. Anybody know how it works?
You put the kind of like spear thing on it, and then
throw it forward. Exactly. That's it. This is called an extension of your arm. You put an arrow on here, or dart as they call it, a spear, and then you can throw it. And when you can throw a spear 50 yards, okay, with no problem. But this thing propelled it 10 times as far, okay? You could actually put your spear on here, and then like this, fling it forward, and they still use these things in contests. The longest one that's ever been thrown was 854 feet. That's 3 football fields long. Okay? Now the atlatl, to work it, what you do is set it up in here like this, I'm going to actually use, I'm going to throw this one, okay? I won't throw it too far because I don't want to go looking off in the woods for it, okay? But this was actually used like this, and you just hold it like this and fling it forward, okay? And that's actually could go 854 feet. How to load these things, and we're able to shoot them. Now, I'm not going to shoot this thing anywhere because it is a bow and arrow and there's people camping over there. So I'm not going to go shooting arrows all over this place. But this was your basic longbow right here. And it was really easy to kill animals. Now, they were smaller and they had to kill a lot of them in order to feed the tribe. A woolly mammoth fed the whole tribe. A rabbit can feed 1 or 2 people, okay? And iron is the way that they started making fires. Remember we were talking about making arrowheads. You would take a piece of antler, and because it was hard but yet soft, and you could bang on it on a rock and you could chip away and make an arrowhead. Well, sometime somewhere in Europe, somebody was hanging out and said, wow, this really hard metal would probably be able to break this and chip it a lot easier than using something like an antler. So I'm sure that person took that piece of metal and grabbed a rock. This is flint rock, okay, and that makes great arrowheads. And he probably was looking at the flint rock and said, okay, I'm going to cut it here, and he went like that. And instantly, sparks start shooting out everywhere, okay? That's the metal touching the flint rock, which the world record for this is 5 seconds from spark to fire. My record is 6.5 seconds. But what you do is you try to knock a spark down in here and actually catch it on that material, okay? And it doesn't always happen really fast. Sometimes it takes a really long time. A lot of humidity in the air today. So with a lot of humidity, it also puts moisture in the air. Now, see, there's a little tiny of a spark that I caught on that material, okay? And you don't have to go fast. Once you catch that spark onto this material, it goes really, really fast, really slow, and you got plenty of time to actually transfer it over to something like this, wrap it up, and start blowing on it. And that's how you make fire. There you go. And like I said, that can be done really, really quick. It'll also make you really dizzy because the longer you blow on it, the dizzier you get. Well, this is a fossil that I found, okay? I'm going to pass it around. I want you guys to look at it, check it out, pass it to the next person because we don't have a lot of time and I want everybody to be able to see this. I want you to look at it and try to tell me what kind of fossil it is. We're going to start here and just go back and forth really quick. Well, if you're not sitting there, you're not going to get it. There you go. Now look at that and pass it. Immediately pass it. Go. Yeah, there you go. Hold it for 2 or 3 seconds. Pass it to the next person. And at the end, when it gets to the back there, I'm going to ask you guys what that is. And we're going to see if anybody can figure it out, okay? Okay, everybody touch this and pass it around. Does anybody know what kind of fossil this is?
Coral?
No, not coral.
A mammoth?
Not a mammoth. You're getting closer.
Is that yours?
Scat.
Ah, see this kid right here? He's got it.
What is
You know
it?
what this is? This is prehistoric food. Okay? This is actually... Yeah, you guys all touched this too, okay? Yeah. This was actually what he said. It is scat. Somebody said a mammoth? That could have been from a mammoth, okay? Who knows? Whatever it was, it ate little berries and stuff because you can actually see the little berries still in it, okay? Prehistoric, okay? And you guys touched it, yeah. And it was really fun being here with you guys today. Thank you so much.
Okay, game big.
Okay, now listen. You guys, as you walk away, I'm going to let you come up and look at my stuff on the table. Look with your eyes. Please do not reach out and touch anything on my table, okay? That's important. Come over here and look, but please don't touch anything, okay? Trying to check it out? I can make a big fire with that. That's right. Just check everything out. Kind of check it out and then go to your counselors and everybody get a look at what's going on here.